Hey, my name's Paul. In this video, I'm going to teach you how to build a simple AI agent using Telegram and N8N. Let's get right into it. Okay, so obviously the first thing is going to be to head on over to N8N and just make sure you're logged in or signed up. You can obviously cloud host it. You can locally run it for free. You can have N8N do hosting. There's a lot of different ways. I'll make another video about that. But basically, once you have N8N, logged in and ready to go in your browser, we're going to go ahead and click this orange button at the top right here where it says Create Workflow. And essentially what we can do with N8N is it's just like in make.com. You have a trigger and then you have a series of actions and then you have an end result. So if you think about it, our trigger, and the trigger is just like how it starts the scenario. So for other flows, this could be like, checking a Google Sheets. It could be a webhook. It could be an Apify scraper is done and it sends over the data to, enrich a lead list. In this example, though, we want the trigger to be when we type in a chat message into Telegram. So we basically want it to fire to that webhook as soon as we send a message, and also send over the message along with it. So without any more yapping, let's go ahead and search for our triggers. So let's go ahead and search for Telegram. And you can see we have actions and triggers. Now it's going to pop up triggers first because we don't have one yet. And if you think about it, the one we need is on message. So I'm going to go ahead and select this. And I'm going to go ahead and click on Create New Credential. And you can see we have an access token, and you can leave this base URL as it is. It's basically so we can interact with the API and whatnot. But basically what I'm going to do in this process is exactly the same on, web.telegram.org, the web version. I just have the desktop app installed. So I'm going to search for Telegram desktop. And I'm going to search for an app called BotFather. Well, I already have it up here. So what I need to do is search for BotFather. Okay, so it'll pop up here. For me, I've already used it, so I just, go ahead and do it. It'll have like it'll look exactly like this. It'll have the check mark right next to it. Just go ahead and select BotFather. And this is basically the tool that lets us create bots inside of N8N. So, super easy. What we're going to do is you'll probably be greeted with a /start. You can go ahead and click that button. But after you do that, we want to go ahead and click on /new bot. And you can see it says, all right, a new bot. How are we going to call it? Please choose a username for your bot. I'm going to call this one N8N. Let's choose a username for your bot. I'm going to say Paul N8N bot. Sorry, this username is taken. I think I've already used that maybe. Let's do Paul.d is invalid. Let's do Paul D N8N bot. There we go. Okay, so once you give it a name ending in bot or something, now we have that access token that we can use, and we also have a URL where we can chat with the bot. So I'm going to go ahead and copy this access token and open up the link to the bot. And we're going to wait to click on /start. It doesn't really matter, but we can just go ahead and test it. I'm going to click on save. Credentials successfully created. I'm going to go ahead and click on test step. And when we click this /start or this start button, it's going to go ahead and fire off a message here so we can just see it's working. We have an output, we have the text, we have the ID and everything that we need. So that's all good to go. We can get our message inside of here. Just to demonstrate again, if I was to type, hello, my name is Paul. What we get back inside of N8N is the text and a bunch of other stuff that we don't necessarily need, but we can use. And if you don't know N8N, you can actually pin the output of something. This is super useful, so you can just run triggers over and over without having to resubmit the data every time. So if there was a message you wanted to reiterate on, maybe a question or, a query or something, you could just pin this data. And now if I run it again, it's just going to go ahead and execute with the same exact text. So very useful feature there. Basically, after that, the data manipulation, which we want to do, is going to be with an AI agent. So we're going to grab from AI or advanced AI an AI agent. Okay. Define below, we're going to drag this text in because this is the text that we want to supply to the AI. And then we're going to add a chat model. And for this example, we can just use Gemini because it's free and really easy to get set up. I'm going to go ahead and add a Gemini chat model, click on Create New Credential, and then we just need our API key. So what I'm going to do is search for Gemini API, Gemini Developer API. I'm going to go ahead and sign in. I'll just continue with this one, for example. Explore models in Google AI Studio. Obviously, all of these links will be down below. If this is your first time doing it, you will need to accept both of these. It's fine. I want emails from Google. And then what we want to do is click on Get API Key, Create API Key, and then we're just going to grab our existing project. I believe it's called like Default Project or something. And I'm going to click on Create API Key, copy this API key, paste it in here. We'll go ahead and test and save. Okay, so our credential has been successfully authenticated, and we're good to go with that. I'm going to select Gemini 1.5 Flash, and that is good to go. So if we go ahead and click on Test Workflow, let's see if it's going to send over our data to Gemini. If we go to AI Agent and we go to Output, we have, "Hello, Paul. It's nice to meet you. How can I help you today?" So the text that we send in to Telegram is actually the user prompt. So if I was to go over to ChatGPT and say, "Hey, my name is Paul," or my name is Paul, and I type the same thing in here, this is doing the exact same thing. Now, obviously, there's some back-end prompting on ChatGPT and everything, but that's essentially what it's doing. And to return this data back into Telegram, what we can do is grab another Telegram module, and we want a send a text message. We're going to use the same account, the chat ID. We're just going to grab this ID from the chat array, and then the text is going to be the output from the AI agent. So if I go ahead and pin this data from Gemini, and then I click on Test Step, you can see we have, "Hey, Paul, it's nice to meet you. How can I help you today?" So it successfully sends everything, and we are good to go. So yeah, that's all good to go. And let's see, what do we want to add next? So I'm going to show you how to add memory and a tool, I believe. For memory, we're just going to use simple memory. You can use things like Postgres or, a SQL database, things like that. But simple memory is super easy. And then we'll just type in 10 as our context window. Define below. Let's think about session ID. Probably the chat ID, right? Yeah, probably chat ID. Let's try that. Define below. Let's do chat ID. Drag that in there. And then let's see if this memory works. So I'm going to go ahead and unpin this data. And what we should be able to do is if I click on Test Workflow, okay. And then if I say again, what did I just say? You just said hi. So it can access our memory, which is super good because it's going to make the AI a lot smarter. It's going to be able to access our, different messages. You can see you can search through our past messages. What did I just say? You just said yada, yada, yada. That's super easy to set up and also really good because say if you made a mistake and you're like, no, go back, change that to this, or this, it can actually access your previous text, which is super good. For the tool, what's a super simple one? Again, this is just kind of like a no BS one. Obviously, you're not going to go sell a calculator AI agent for $100,000 to 18 business owners, but it's good for concepts. So let's see. So it can do calculator functions, I believe. So let's see. Add option, system message. You're a helpful assistant. Answer the user's questions or answer the user's messages. If prompted, use the calculator tool you have. Use the calculator tool. Cool. So if I was to test the workflow and I say, use the calculator tool, what is 10 times 60? Let's see if we get this back. 10 multiplied by 16 is 160. Let's see if it used the tool. Okay. So the response is 160. So the query was 10 times 160. So works fine. We can use tools. We can use memory. We can use a chat model. Obviously, you can add, more tools. You can add multiple chat models. But to change out the chat model, you would obviously just, delete this, add, if you wanted to, OpenAI. You can use Grok. You can use a lot of different things. Again, the memory is interswappable. You can use a different memory tool if you want to. And then there's a lot of different tools you can use in here. You can even set up, HTTP calls, and I think you can use it. Yeah, you can use HTTP calls, and then you could name it. You can call another N8N workflow, which is kind of like Make's AI agent, which I need to make a video about. It's pretty cool. It's kind of like it classifies what you're trying to do, and then it looks through, okay, I have these different scenarios or workflows, and then it decides to pick one from there. Let me know in the comments if you want to see a video about that. But I hope you did find this video useful. If you did, please make sure to drop me a like and subscribe. The templates will be down in the school community. We're trying to start that up and give out a bunch of different templates for users, and also kind of give them one-on-one coaching, how to sell AI automations and everything. This is by no means our primary income stream. We're just trying to help people out. So if you want the templates and you want one-on-one support and a lot of different other stuff like live calls, feel free to check that out at the link in the description. Besides that, everybody have a great day and peace out.